Hi everyone and welcome to Over 50 So What? I'm Carol. This show is for midlifers, middlescents or us middle-aged. And unfortunately for a lot of us, our body shape seems to change and develop with the middle-age spread. We chat to Mish Wright about understanding and working with our new body shape. After the 5-minute fun fitness segment, which you can do in your own living room, just check you have a clear space. We're visiting a Life Activities Club in Geelong, where they're having fun playing cards and Scrabble. Enjoy the show. When I was approaching 50, I knew that my body shape was going to change, and I was not looking forward to it. I thought I was prepared, but it was very, very challenging. To discuss this phenomenon of body shape changing, we're with Mish Wright, award-winning educator, speaker and writer. Welcome back to Over 50 So What, Mish?
So great to be with you again, Carol.
Over 50, middle-age spread, putting on weight around the middle. I mean, it's expected that men and women put on weight around the middle-age spread is going to happen to us all, but specifically it happens to women going through menopause. Why is this?
Yes, so there is a very technical reason actually. During the menopause process, you're losing estrogen. The body is freaking out about estrogen leaving, and so it grabs as much of it as it can and it stores it in fat, and then it stores it in a place that is really accessible, which happens to be around our middle. But I do want to say, Carol, if you look back over your whole lifespan, your body is constantly changing. So we shouldn't be so surprised that in menopause or during this next phase of our life that it changes again.
So does it change, apart from the fat around our middles, is there any other changes that might happen in a female's body?
I think that when we age, we accept that we are going to get wrinkles. And again, this is related to the estrogen, which is related to collagen. So collagen is that spring back, that elasticity that we have. And so when we go through menopause and lose that estrogen, we lose that ability for our skin to spring back. And of course, our hair color can change as well. We're probably more accepting of wrinkles and more accepting of hair color, and we can do things about both of those. But I think as women, we're not as accepting by the change of body shape. Now, does this mean that we can never lose weight or get strong or look better? Absolutely not. We all have the ability to get stronger and live a fulfilled life in our body, but it is all about our perspective.
Now, I'll share a personal story with you about my experience with body shape change going through menopause. And one of them is an increase in bust size. You know, when I was younger, I was a D, then I went to double D, then I went to E, then I went to F for friggin' enormous. So I think some women would be very excited maybe about having an increase in bust size, but that can be a common result too.
Absolutely. And so again, it's just all about this estrogen storing it, but you can also see a reduction in your muscle mass. So if you had an ample muscly booty, you might find that you lose that, or it's harder in order for you to maintain it as well. Not impossible, but it's just a change that, you know, we go through.
Is there anything you can do in perimenopausal phase to prepare to help minimise the change in body shape or weight gain?
Absolutely. So fundamental is making sure that you care for yourself and your sleep. That is a foundation, which can be really tricky, of course, if you're having night sweats or things like that. But prioritising your rest will be a big driver in being able to manage your cravings as well. And the other real key ingredient to this is making sure that you have a lot of muscle mass. So muscle mass really drives your metabolism. So really prioritizing your healthy eating and movement and exercise.
Yes, that's one of the things I did in my 40s. I really got into resistance training, a lot of strength work and reducing my body fat, so that when I actually hit the menopause, I thought I'd be in a better state.
Well, your bones and everything you would really benefit from that. As not only that, but also your brain. The research is really clear around strength training and the protective properties it has for your brain.
Now, there's a few risk factors that happen, isn't it, when women start putting on weight around the middle. Can you talk us through that?
So staying cardiovascular fit is really important for heart health, and heart health is going to be more compromised in the menopausal time. So for example, during up to menopause with lots of estrogen, it helps protect your heart. And so you'll find that men are more risk at heart attack or heart disease. However, when women go through menopause and lose that estrogen factor, then they are just also as high a risk of heart disease and heart attack as men.
So what can we do to minimise our middle-age spread, to minimise putting on this unnecessary weight?
I think number one has to be managing your sleep, making sure that you get good quality sleep. Or it could be looking at if hot flushes are an issue, going to see a menopause doctor, and maybe HRT or menopause hormone therapy can help with that as well. Secondly, from that is making sure that you have lots of muscle mass.
And what about our eating habit?
It is really important that we have a diet that is filled with food that you can recognise. You know where it's come from. The research is really, really clear about having food that is plant-based, and even if it's something like a muffin, when you've made it yourself, it's not going to have those chemicals in it. It's going to be filled with things that you know and recognise. But definitely having some really good strategies to use to minimise that weight gain. Also, chewing your food. We have a little safe word in our house, which is applesauce. So making sure that when you chew your food, it feels like applesauce in your mouth before you swallow. And that might take a little bit of getting used to. Just by chewing your food, you do amazing things not only for your digestion, but also it gives your belly time to tell your brain that you are full. The third part to minimise putting on weight is movement after eating. Going for a walk. The research shows 10 or 20 minutes after a meal can help with all of that digestion.
So what you're saying is all the healthy things you should have been doing before menopause, you keep doing it, but maybe add a bit more resistance work to keep that muscle mass.
Yeah, and maybe thinking a little bit more about your diet and making sure that you're eating food that serve you.
All right, we've been through menopause, we've got a little bit of a middle-age spread, a little bit of a tummy. How do we look at ourselves in the mirror? And
that is such a good question, Carol, because it is something that is individual for us. And we're not saying, letting yourself go, but maybe it's about stepping into the next third of our life and owning who we are. I like to fill my news feed, so what I consume on social media, with older women. We have a youth-obsessed culture, and so I really embrace looking at kick-ass women who are older, and I think, I want to be you when I grow up. And with every kick-ass woman, they are not worrying about whether their thighs are rubbing together or not.
Now, what about partners and other family members? How can they support a woman going through menopause who is having that change in body shape?
First of all, empathy is always going to be number one.
I think a lot of women, they have to go up a size in clothing or 1 or 2 sizes in a bra size. So they probably feel they're maybe getting a little less sexy and all that sort of thing. How can someone, a family member, support them into thinking you're still attractive, you're still gorgeous, you're still amazing?
I love the terms, you do you. I think it's only natural that you would, as a woman, maybe complain to your significant other more than anybody else about how do I look. And I think a response that is really good is you do you. You be you, and that changes. And then going to a specialist shop and having a proper bra fitting. If you're just not getting the right support for the girls, that's not going to make you feel great as well. So a great bra does wonders, and also a bit of a wardrobe makeover.
So what final words of encouragement and support have you got for women watching today about embracing their new body shape?
When I was 26, I remember thinking, if only my body was like it was when it was 16. Didn't even need to wear a bra. And then when I was 36, I thought, oh, if only my body looked like it did when I was 26. There comes a point in time where you have to put a line in the sand and say, do you know what? My body is fantastic because it's transporting me, it's serving me, embracing what we have. That's my advice.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50, so what?